No one really knows how challenging my life has been until now. It wasn't until my junior year that I realized how important going to college was for me. But through the early years of my life, there was lots of struggling, violence, pain, and a heart-pounding fear. My twin brother, Brooke, and I, life could have easily ended when we were 1.5 years old. But thankfully, we're still here due to the support of my grandparents, Costello and Walter Caldwell. The day was cold and snowy. My twin brother and I, dressed only in pajamas, were placed in a basket with a blanket over us and put on the side of the children's home. This woman left us up there to either die or to be adopted. I use the term woman because she doesn't deserve the title as my mother. Hours passed before the woman finally decided to call my grandparents and tell her what she had done. My grandparents were shocked by the information they received. Our heroes came to our rescue, my grandpa and my dad. We were rushed to the hospital where we stayed until we recovered from the cold. We went to stay with our grandparents and dad when we were 3. Then one day, my dad was involved in a drive-by shooting. My dad was a gang member, and he was the one that was doing the shooting. He was sentenced to jail for 10 years, but ended up doing 12 due to bad behavior. I continued to live with my grandparents, whose house was in a very bad neighborhood. Every day there were fights and drive-bys on my block. As soon as the street lights came on, I sprinted home. At my house, we would lie on the floor or go to the basement from 7 till 11 due to the shooting and violence around us. One afternoon at about 3, when I was 7 years old, my cousin, brother, and I were at the park playing on the swings. Then a car came creeping by and was shooting at us because who our father is. I can still remember the feel of the vibrations of the bullets as they flew by me. Everyone else ran, but I stayed on the slide, too afraid to move. Somehow we all survived without an injury, but we were not allowed to go to the park for years after that. Later that same night, we were playing hide and seek when there was another drive-by. My cousin was shot in the leg, even though she wasn't the target. Middle school came, and I was introduced to gangs and girls. I was fighting every day because no one liked my older brother. I also fought for my twin. My brothers had a thing for trash talking, and I would always have their backs. It's only been my grandparents, my brother, and I, which makes us a very tight family. During my 8th grade year, my grandpa died due to clogged arteries and a bad heart. I loved my grandpa, and I cried for weeks. A few days after his funeral, I found out he wasn't my biological grandpa, but that didn't matter to me. He was still my grandpa because he took care of me for my whole life. For the next couple of years, his death made me feel like giving up, and I didn't care about anything anymore. Then one day, I met this girl who helped me through everything and introduced me to AVID. She convinced me to apply, and this was the smartest thing I've ever done. At first, Miss Valdez wouldn't let me in the program because my grades were too low. But I kept asking the counselor and speaking with her until she finally gave me a chance. All of my AVID peers took me in as if I were a part of the family. They helped me and I helped them, especially in math since that's easy for me. I went on a trip to our state capital in Topeka with 3 of them. These are students I never would have had a chance to meet if I wasn't involved in the AVID program. We were all very different than each other, but that didn't matter to us. We were all brothers and sisters. Now, they used to call me in the mornings to make sure I got up and went to class on time. And they would have to call me in the morning so I would get up and take the ACT. But still to this day, they call me and make sure I'm doing all right and make sure I'm still doing my homework. Thank God for AVID. Everything was easy in school until I got into AVID. My teacher, Miss Valdez, put me in a lot of tough classes, and this would often make me mad at her. Her line she would say is, if I didn't think you could do it, I wouldn't put you in this class. This frustrates me when she said that, but Miss Valdez is like a mom to me, and I never like her being disappointed in me. So I try to do what I can to please her. For example, at the beginning of the school year, I wanted it easy with simple classes, but she wouldn't let me. So we had a small disagreement to the point where I hurt her feelings, and she seemed very sad. I never want to experience that again. I just stick with the classes and work hard in tutorials, and I ended up passing all my tough classes. Thank you for pushing me, Ms. Valdez. You made me a better person. Another person who helped me in my hard classes is Shanova Horton, an AVID peer. She introduced me to AVID and helped me, especially in AP English. There was days when we spent 8 to 9 hours catching back up on work. She still helps me, and I would like to thank her for that. I have a mentor who also keeps me on task. His name is Alex Robinson. I would like to thank him. He took me under his wing in my time of need. AVID really prepared me for college, but mostly it was Miss Valdez. I love you, Miss Valdez. It's a pleasure to be here telling you my story today. If I would have lost my twin due to the events in my early life, I would be heartbroken because I would have lost my best friend. If I would have died, I would hope he would be here today presenting to you our story as I am. I'm going to college at Independence, and I plan on majoring in electrical engineering, and I want to earn enough money to provide for my family and to always be there for my children. I want to thank everybody in the AVID who believed in me and who has given me hope that one day I can be a success. Thank you.